Fellas, go ahead and stop right there. You can't be hanging around this van.
We're standing on the sidewalk, man. Is that against the law now?
It's against the peace of the neighborhood. This isn't your block, and people get nervous.
Nervous about what? Us breathing?
About folks who don't fit, looking into vehicles that aren't there. Step away from the van.
Writing new laws or just making them up?
Move along. Now.
A white police officer stood on a clean North Texas sidewalk with his hand tight on his radio, telling two young black men that they did not belong there. His voice was sharp. His face was hard. His words cut deeper than his badge ever could. "You need to move along," he said. "This isn't your area." A phone camera was already recording. A neighbor's door was cracked open. A siren echoed somewhere far away. What that officer did not know was this. The quiet black man standing closest to the curb had once led soldiers through gunfire. That he had worn the flag on his shoulder. That he had buried friends under it. And in less than 1 hour, the same camera catching this humiliation would end a career, shake a town, and expose a lie this country keeps telling itself about who belongs where. Before we go any deeper into this story, take 1 second and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss stories like this. And drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. Now let's get into it. Hands out of your pockets. The words snapped through the air like a whip. Malik Crowder froze mid-step. His palms were already open, hanging low by his sides, but he lifted them anyway. Slow. Careful. Like he had done before. Like he had been taught. Officer Daniel Kessler stood 3 feet away from him. White. Early 40s. Was cut. Square jaw. His patrol car sat crooked behind a silver van parked along the curb, red and blue lights flashing but silent, like they were waiting for permission to scream. "I asked you to stop loitering," Kessler said. "Now I'm telling you." "We're just standing here," Malik said. His voice was calm but tight. "This is a public sidewalk." Andre Bell stood a step behind Malik, phone held low at his chest, camera rolling. He hadn't said a word yet. He rarely did when police were around. He had learned that silence was safer. Kessler's eyes flicked to Andre's phone. "Put that away," he said. Andre didn't move. "I'm recording," Andre said quietly. "For our safety." Kessler's jaw clenched. Across the street, a white woman pushing a stroller slowed down. A man watering his lawn stopped spraying and stared. Curtains shifted in windows. The neighborhood, neat and trimmed and quiet, leaned in to watch. "You two live around here?" Kessler asked. Malik shook his head. "No, sir." Kessler smirked. "Didn't think so." Malik Crowder was 19 years old. Tall. Broad shoulders. Long arms that still held the muscle memory of push-ups done in dirt and sweat. He wore a gray hoodie with the sleeves stretched thin at the elbows and black basketball shorts that brushed his knees. White socks. Scuffed sneakers. He looked like a kid, like nothing special. But Malik had spent 3 years of his short life in places most people only saw on the news. He had learned how to breathe when bullets snapped past his head. How to stay calm when everything inside you wanted to run. How to listen more than you speak. He had joined the army at 17 with his mother's shaky signature and a promise he would come back better than he left. He had come back quieter instead. The hoodie hid the scars on his arms. The shorts hid the knee that never healed right. The calm hid the nights he woke up sweating, heart racing, reaching for a rifle that was no longer there. None of that showed on the sidewalk. All Officer Kessler saw was a black kid in the wrong place. Andre Bell looked even less threatening. 21. Slim. Dark skin. Beanie pulled low. Jeans faded from too many washes. He worked nights at a warehouse, loading boxes until his hands went numb. He didn't trust police. Not after the stop last year where he had been cuffed, searched, and let go without an apology. Andre knew how this went. "So what are you doing here?" Kessler asked. Malik glanced at the van. "Waiting for our ride." Kessler laughed. A short, sharp sound. "That your van?" "No, sir." "Whose is it?" "A friend's." Kessler stepped closer. Too close. Malik could smell coffee on his breath. See the small vein pulsing in his temple. "You don't see a problem with this?" Kessler said. "Two guys hanging around a vehicle in a neighborhood like this?" "What do you mean, like this?" Malik asked. Kessler's eyes hardened. "Don't play dumb." Andre shifted his weight. The phone stayed steady. "You matched the description," Kessler continued. "Description of what?" Malik asked. Kessler paused. Just a second too long. "Suspicious activity," he said finally. Malik nodded slowly. "Standing on a sidewalk?" Kessler's hand dropped to his belt. "Watch your tone," he warned. A man across the street muttered something to his wife. The woman with the stroller pulled her child closer. No one spoke up. Malik felt the old pressure in his chest. The one that came before things went bad. He took a breath. In through his nose. Out through his mouth. Count to 4. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, Malik said. I just want to understand why we're being stopped. Kessler leaned in. Because I said so. Andre swallowed. He remembered the cold metal of handcuffs. The way his wrists had burned. You can't tell us to leave just because you don't want us here, Andre said softly. Kessler turned on him. I can if you're causing a disturbance. We're not, Malik said. Kessler's voice rose. You are now. The air felt thick, heavy, like a storm was sitting right above them. Malik looked past Kessler, down the street. A black SUV rolled slowly toward them, then stopped at the corner. Its engine stayed on. Kessler didn't notice. Turn around, Kessler ordered. Both of you. Malik didn't move. Am I being detained? He asked. Kessler's face flushed red. Don't test me. Andre's phone caught everything. The tight mouth. The clenched fist. The way Kessler stood like he owned the concrete under their feet. Then Malik did something unexpected. He smiled. Not a happy smile. A knowing one. Yes, sir, Malik said. I understand. Kessler blinked, thrown off. Malik reached into his hoodie pocket slowly. Too slowly for Kessler's liking. I said hands out. Kessler shouted. They are, Malik said. He pulled out a worn leather wallet and held it up. I just want to show you something. Kessler hesitated, then nodded. Slow. Malik opened the wallet. Inside, behind a cracked plastic window, was a military ID. United States Army, Sergeant Malik J. Crowder. Decorated. Kessler stared at it. What's that? He asked, though his voice had changed. My ID, Malik said. And my discharge papers are in the van. Honorable. The black SUV at the corner door opened. A man stepped out. Tall. Gray hair. Suit under a windbreaker. He walked with purpose. Kessler looked up just as the man crossed the street. Officer, the man said. His voice was calm but firm. I'm going to need you to step back. Kessler frowned. Who are you? The man held up his own badge. Gold. Not police. Elias Monroe, he said. Department of Defense. Andre's breath caught. Malik lowered his wallet. The sidewalk went silent. Kessler's mouth opened, then closed. Elias Monroe looked from Malik to Andre, then back at the officer. I've been looking for you, Sergeant Crowder, Monroe said. You're late. Malik nodded. Traffic. Neighbors stared. Phones came out. Whispers spread. Kessler took a step back without meaning to. The power had shifted, the camera was still rolling, and this was only the beginning. Elias Monroe did not raise his voice that he didn't need to. The badge in his hand did all the talking. Officer Daniel Kessler stood frozen, like someone had pulled the ground out from under him and he was still waiting to fall. His shoulders, once stiff and proud, sagged just a little. Enough to notice. Enough to matter. I don't understand, Kessler said. What's going on here? Monroe slipped the badge back into his jacket. He turned slightly so the neighbors could see his face too. Come. Plain. Certain. What's going on, Monroe said, is that you stopped a decorated Army veteran on a public sidewalk for existing while black. The words landed hard. Andre felt his chest loosen for the first time since the lights came on. His phone kept recording, his hand steady now, not shaking like before. Malik said nothing. He didn't need to. He stood there with his hands relaxed at his sides, eyes forward, breathing slow. Kessler swallowed. Sir, I was just responding to a call. What call? Monroe asked. Kessler hesitated. A resident reported suspicious activity. Monroe nodded. Which resident? Kessler looked toward the houses. The curtains closed fast now. The man with the hose turned his back. No one wants to claim it, Monroe said. Funny how that works. A second patrol car pulled up. Then a third. Doors opened. Radios crackled. The quiet street filled with uniforms. One of the new officers, a woman with tired eyes and a softer stance, walked up to Monroe. Agent Monroe, she said. We were told to assist. Good, Monroe replied. Then assist by watching. Kessler bristled. This is my stop. Monroe looked at him. Really looked at him. No, he said. It isn't. Monroe turned to Malik. Sergeant Crowder, he said. Tell me why you're here. Malik took a breath. He glanced at Andre, then back at Monroe. My aunt lives 3 blocks over, Malik said. Her van broke down. We were waiting for her ride. And before that? Monroe asked. Malik's eyes drifted just for a second. I just got back, he said. From overseas. Monroe nodded. 2 tours, he added, loud enough for the street to hear. Bronze Star. Purple Heart. Medical discharge. A murmur rippled through the crowd. The woman with the stroller covered her mouth. Kessler's face drained of color. You see, Monroe continued, Sergeant Crowder spent years protecting a country that still questions if he belongs on its sidewalks. Kessler shook his head. I didn't know. Malik finally spoke again. That's the problem, he said. His voice was steady. Simple. You didn't ask. Monroe turned back to Kessler. Officer Daniel Kessler, he said, pulling a small notebook from his pocket. Badge number 41723. 8 complaints in 6 years. 3 for biased conduct. All dismissed. Kessler stiffened. Those were patterns, Monroe cut in. Not accidents. The other officers shifted uncomfortably. Monroe gestured toward Andre's phone. This video, he said, has already been uploaded. Andre blinked. What? Monroe smiled slightly. Live stream. Internal Affairs. Civil Rights Division. Your chief. Kessler's radio buzzed. He looked down at it like it might bite him. Officer Kessler, a voice crackled. Stand by. Sweat formed at Kessler's hairline. You are being relieved of duty pending investigation, the voice said. Kessler's shoulders slumped. A neighbor stepped forward then. A white man in a golf shirt. Nervous smile. Officer, I didn't mean for all this, he said. I just thought. Monroe turned to him. Thought what? The man faltered. They looked out of place. Malik met his eyes. So did I in Afghanistan, Malik said quietly. Still did my job. The man looked down. Shame crept up his neck. The tension broke like glass. Some neighbors cried. One woman apologized through sobs she didn't know how to stop. Others stood silent, faces red, eyes low. Andre finally lowered his phone. I didn't think this would end like this, he said. Malik nodded. It usually doesn't. Monroe placed a hand on Malik's shoulder. A firm grip. Respect. You did good, he said. Malik shrugged. I just stood still. That's not easy, Monroe replied. Kessler sat on the curb now, badge off, hands shaking. He stared at the ground, the sidewalk he had claimed as his own just minutes ago. No one looked at him. As the crowd thinned and the cars pulled away, Malik and Andre stood alone again. The street was quiet. Normal. Like nothing had happened. Andre broke the silence. You ever get tired of this? Malik thought for a moment. Yeah, he said. But I get more tired of letting it slide. He looked down at the concrete under his feet. This sidewalk, he said, belongs to anyone who walks it. Andre smiled. Somewhere a flag flapped in the wind. If this story hit you, subscribe to the channel for more real, powerful stories like this. And tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were standing there that day?